Hello, I am Mr. El Labado, BS Cream 1 Block 18, and this is my PowerPoint presentation. Lesson 3. Supernaturals, believe it or not. Lesson objectives. Identify various religious practices and beliefs. Understand self and religious practices and religious beliefs and explain the way of finding. Introduction. Spiritual self is one of the four constituents of the self according to William James in his book The Principle of Psychology, 1890. The spiritual self is the most intimate, inner, subjective part of self. It is most intimate version of the self because if satisfaction experience when one thinks of one's ability to argue and discriminate and of the moral sensibility and conscience of our unconquerable will is more pure than all other sentiments of satisfaction. Green, 1997. The ability to use moral sensibility and conscience may be seen through the expression of religions and its beliefs and practices. In the same manner, and cultural rituals and ceremonies are some manifestation what people believe in. Moreover, and seeking the meaning of life is a journey that the spiritual self is on. Buddhism. Belief. Buddhism teaches that life is unsatisfactory. Life can be experienced as painful and frustrating and impermanent and fleeting and or insubstantial. When we experience life unsatisfying, we tend to curve pleasant experiences and avoid disappointing ones. And we do this more or less habitually, or our habits tie us into a reactive cycle of craving and aversion. Buddhism, custom and practices. Meditation practices can be divided into Samatha and Vipassana practices. Samatha practices develop calm, concentration, and positive emotion and practice as mindfulness of breathing and development of loving kindness. Metta Havana. Vipassana practices aim at developing insight into reality, developing and cultivating wisdom happens through studying and reflecting the Dharma, the Buddha's teaching. Christianity. Beliefs. Christians believe that God became fully present in the world in the person of Jesus Christ of Nazareth. A Jew himself, he summarized the law as loving God and neighbor, but he extended the message of God's redemption to all people. Christian believes that Jesus Christ dying on the cross and made him sacrifice to reconcile all humanity with their Creator. Christianity, custom, and practices. One become a Christian through as the sacrament of baptism is water ceremony that symbolize assuring in the death and resurrection of Jesus. This is an imitation into the life of the church, which Christians believe to be the body of Christ in the world today, and also Christian pray, worship, and study the Bible together. They also follow Jesus' instruction of taking bread and wine and declaring this as his body and blood offered in sacrament. Hinduism believes, and this is the picture of Hinduism, major belief of Hinduism, Dharma, Artha, Karma, Moksha. The term Hinduism was coined as recently as the century to cover a wide range of ancient creeds, textual traditions, and religious groups. Thus, Hinduism has single founder and doctrine or religious authority. Hinduism is the best understood as a complete way of life, a path of sanctification and discipline that leads to a higher level of consciousness. This path is known as Dharma and the ancient law. Hindus often thought to be polytheists, but most claim to believe in one supreme God who is incarnation in many forms. Hindu revere a body of text as sacred scriptures are concerned with Dharma. Other important texts include the great epics of Mahabharata with Dharma. Continuation of Hinduism. This is the picture of Dharma and Veda. Hinduism custom and practices. Hindus follow the lunar calendar, and particular days are set aside during the week and month to honor particular manifestation of God. The main festivals are celebrated in different ways by different communities. The most commonly celebrated festivals are Diwali and the Festival of Lights and the Navratri 9 nights, which celebrate the triumph of God over evil. This take place twice a year. Islam. Beliefs. Islam is an Arabic word which means willing submission to God. The root of the word Islam comes from a word meaning peace, and Muslims believes it the way of the peace as laid down in Quran. The Arabic word Allah means once God, and at the heart of the Muslim faith is belief in the unity and universality of God. Muslims also believe in the unity of mankind and under one Father and Adams, and have strong sense of Muslim community or ummah and awareness of their solidarity with all Muslim worldwide, and Muslim believes that God has sent a succession of prophets such as Adam and Noah and Abraham and Jacob and Moses and Jesus, and see Muhammad as the last and the final prophet. Muhammad was born in Mecca in 570th century and received revelation from God through the angel Gabriel over a period of 23 years. Continuation of Islam. This is the picture of Mecca and picture of Quran. It is like a book. Custom and practices. Islam have 5 pillars that represent the foundation of Islamic worship and practice. Shahada. There is no God but the one true God, and Muhammad is the messenger. Salat. Prayer 5 times a day at given times. Zakat. 2.5% of Muslim asset over a given specified amount is given in welfare tax to benefit the poor. Hajj. An annual pilgrimage to Mecca, and which is requirement at least once in a lifetime for those who can afford it. Saum. During the month of Ramadan, 9 months of the Islamic lunar calendar, and Muslims are required to abstain from food and drink and sexual acts from dawn until sunset. And the last continuation of Islam. The end of Ramadan marks the beginning of the festival of Eid ul-Fitr, when Muslims visit the mosque and give charity, exchange presents and cards, and celebrate with family and friends. Eid ul-Adha coincides with the completion of Hajj and unites the whole Islamic community. This is the picture of Eid ul-Fitr and Eid ul-Adha. Judaism beliefs. The Jewish people believe themselves to be descended from a Semitic tribe that originated in the town of Canaan in the Middle East. Their early history is told in the Hebrew scriptures, which recount how God promised to Abraham, a trader and the leader of nomadic tribe, that his descendant would be the father of great nation. Abraham's grandson Jacob had 12 sons who became ancestors of 12 tribes of Israel. For many years, they wandered in the wilderness, during which time God revealed to Moses. Jews believes of the Messiah, the Savior. It covers family relationships, social interaction, and God commercial practice, and as well as setting out the religious ritual that are still celebrated today. Continuation of Judaism. custom and practice of Judaism. The Jewish Sabbath begins on Friday evening at sunset and is an important time when families gather for the Sabbath meal. There are 5 festivals on the New York Rosh Hashanah falls in autumn and followed 10 days later by the most solemn day of year and the Day of Atonement, Yom Kippur. The other major festivals are known as the Three Pilgrim Festival, Passover, Pesach in the spring, Pentecost, Shavuot that occurs 7 weeks later, and Tabernacles or Sukkot that take place in the autumn. The end.